Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to do a really quick and easy natural kind of look, which will be perfect for back to school if you guys are going back to school, or if you're just kind of going back to work, starting your regular routine again. I just wanted to do a makeup tutorial that would work for a lot of us on an everyday basis. So many of these products are affordable. The majority of them are affordable. However, I do have some higher end products that I want to share with you because I really do love them on an everyday basis. So I actually asked you guys on my Instagram what your vibe was this year, going back to school or work, and the majority of you guys wanted something just natural. It seemed like so many of you guys wanted something that was easy to do, didn't require too much time, because a lot of you said you would rather get your sleep in the morning than spend too much time on makeup, but it seemed like you also kind of wanted to still look polished and flawless, but just with like the least amount of effort possible. So that's what I'm going to try to accomplish today. I thought long and hard about which products I was going to use, and I'm really happy about this lineup that I have here. So let's just get right into it. If you're headed to work or school in the morning, a lot of times if you sleep in especially, and if you want to leave yourself the least amount of time possible to get your makeup on, I feel like it's really good to kind of wake up your skin in the morning. So I wanted to share with you a couple tips that I like to do. So I don't always use a cleanser in the morning. I will just splash my face with water to just kind of wake myself up. In the daytime, I like to use a vitamin C serum, and then I like to use a moisturizer or an oil of some sort. I already have a little bit of this oil on today. This is the Go-To Face Hero Powerful and Protective Face Oil. I really have been enjoying this. I'm going to apply just a little bit more so I can demonstrate, but it is already on my face, which is what's kind of giving it this glow. I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit more to the skin. And obviously, you guys know your skin better than I know your skin. So if you're somebody who has super dry skin and you just have a go-to moisturizer that you like to apply, stick with your skincare. But it always helps to prep the skin, not only for makeup, but also to kind of wake up your face in the morning. If you have an extra couple seconds to spare, a face roller is so great. This was actually sent to me by Beauty Bio. I love this, but you can get this exact same kind of a thing on Amazon for a lot cheaper than this. I will have options linked down below, but I just kind of like to roll the product into the skin, and in the morning, especially since these stay so cold, it really helps to depuff the face, and it kind of gets everything going in the morning. So I'm just going to go ahead and quickly roll this across the face a few times. The other side is really nice if you have puffy eyes, which I tend to get in the morning. I'm not filming this in the morning, so I can't really demonstrate this exactly, but just know that this really helps to kind of depuff the eyes. And it only takes a couple minutes, and it seriously makes all the difference in the morning. Before I start my makeup, I also like to apply some sort of a lip balm. I love this one from Laneige. It's the Lip Sleeping Mask. I'm almost out of it, but this has lasted me a very, very long time. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of this to the lips. And on a lot of days where I'm running late, this is all I put on my lips. And I will just keep it on after I finish my makeup and head out the door, because it does have a little bit of a pink tint to it. So I just really like how the finish is on my lips. So if you're also running short on time in the morning, you could just apply this and then just head out the door. After my skincare is on, I always apply a sunscreen. I need my sunscreens, and I was really thinking long and hard about kind of what sunscreen I wanted to use with the tinted moisturizer I'm going to show you. I've talked about this so many times. This is the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Defense. It's the Radiant Protective Veil, and I feel like when you're short on time, it's good to find products that kind of do multiple things for you. So this one for me kind of smooths out the face. It also creates more of a radiant finish, and it protects my skin. So I'm just going to go ahead and work this into the skin using my fingers. I like to make sure to get under the eyes and also on the eyelids, and then I just kind of press it into the skin. And just remember, you guys can adjust this to meet your needs. If you already have naturally pretty even toned skin, you could completely skip like a tinted moisturizer and just use sunscreen and then go into concealer. But for those of you who have a little bit of discoloration like I do, I like to add a thin veil of coverage. And for that, I wanted to use the NYX Bear With Me Tinted Skin Veil. This is so great. I'm going to use the shade Vanilla Nude, and I'm just going to kind of squiggle a little bit onto the cheeks. That's where I have most redness. We'll do a little on the forehead. We'll start with that much. I love the fact that this is from the drugstore. It is just such a good product, and it never looks heavy or cakey on the skin. It just kind of helps tone everything down. Hopefully you can see that happening right in front of your eyes. I absolutely love this stuff. It just looks like your skin, but better. If you don't want to do a sunscreen and then something like this layered on top, I did want to show you, I've already talked about this so many times, but the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Tinted Hydrating Gel Cream is kind of like all of those things in one. So if you're you're super short on time and you want to really just narrow down your routine in the morning, I would just go in with this. I know this isn't drugstore, but it's definitely worth every penny in my opinion. You still get SPF 30, you get super great hydrating benefits, so that is another option if you are wanting it. By the way, this is the Real Techniques buffing brush. I love this brush, and I do bring the coverage up underneath the eyes and also around the eyes right here and then down the neck just to make sure that everything is nice and blended. Alright, so now our skin looks nice and glowy. It's also much more even toned. I do want to kind of spot conceal some areas that I want a little more coverage. So I'm going to be using the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer. And I feel like my under eye area looks pretty good. So I'm really not going to do too much under the eyes, just like that. I like to kind of dot it right in the areas where I have darkness. That way you're not loading up too much concealer underneath the eyes, which helps prevent any caking or creasing throughout the day. And I do also have some blemishes all around, so I'm just going to take that same concealer. You guys probably know, and if you don't, I usually buy 2 shades of concealer. A lighter one for under the eyes and then one that matches my skin tone perfectly. If I'm doing an everyday look and I need to just move forward on the time, I will just take the one that matches my skin tone and I will use that under my eyes as well. It saves time and it looks more natural if you're trying to achieve more of a natural kind of look. So I'm just going to take the Real Techniques buffing brush and I'm just going to kind of stipple this into the skin. I'm also trying not to use like a sponge or anything, which is what I normally do. But in the morning, like, sometimes you literally don't have time to wet a sponge, so this is more realistic for me anyway. I just use the same brushes for everything. And you can definitely use your finger underneath the eyes, and that's what I'm gonna do to go ahead and blend this out. And I'm gonna take what's left on the finger and just kind of cancel out any veins on the eyelid. I also like to take what's left and kind of drag it around the sides of the nose. I get redness there, and a lot of us do. And then again, I'm just gonna take it on the eyelid to cancel out those veins. Okay, so I really like how the complexion looks. There is still a little bit of skin showing through, but for an everyday tutorial, I really don't mind that. I feel like it really helps the skin look more like skin, just a little bit better and a little bit more healthy and awake, you know? So to set everything, I wanted to use this. This is the Physicians Formula Healthy Powder in the shade LM3. It's a pressed powder and it does have coverage in it, so I'm just going to use a tiny amount. If you are not into powders with coverage, go ahead and use a translucent powder or just powder the areas like underneath the eyes if you like a more fresh complexion. It's totally up to you. Like I said, you can just adjust this tutorial to meet whatever you guys need. I'm just going to take this on a powder brush and I'm going to kind of press it into the skin and then buff it. And the thing that I like about this powder is not only the coverage that it gives, but it also leaves behind a really pretty luminosity. I'm really making sure to kind of press this into the skin rather than wiping it because I don't want to remove any of the hard work that we just did, but I do want to set everything and make sure that it's gonna stay all day. Another product that I love for every day, and I feel like it works on so many different people, no matter what your age is the Bare Minerals Loose Original Powder Foundation. That is such a good, just like quick everyday foundation. You can just put a moisturizer on and literally buff it all over your face. I even use it underneath the eye area and you're good to go. That's such a good time-saving foundation as well. So I'll have that link down below. I'm sure a lot of you guys have probably tried that before. It's seriously so good. I'm actually going to take a bit of the Laura Mercier pressed translucent powder. I'm just going to take a tiny bit and I'm going to press that underneath the eyes because the Physicians Formula powder is like a little bit more dewy and I just want to make sure that the concealer stays in place all day. So I'm just taking a tiny bit of that on the eyelids and underneath the eyes. I feel like the complexion looks so nice and fresh and dewy. If you're somebody who likes more of a matte finish or you have more oily skin, I would definitely recommend using your favorite translucent powder, whatever it is that you rely on, instead of something that has a little more glow to it. You guys can seriously just use your favorite things at home to do the same routine and you'll get the same effect. So I really wanted to use a baked bronzer of some sort. I've been so into baked bronzers. I have so many that I love, but I wanted to use the Flower Beauty Heat Wave Luminous Bronzer. Again, that's going to add to our luminosity. This is in the shade Sunrise L1. I'm going to take that on this kind of fluffy kabuki brush and I'm just going to quickly dust this around the forehead and under the cheeks, down the neck a little bit. And since I haven't done my brows yet, I do like to kind of take it and put it through the brows on the sides a little. And then I'm going to blend some down the neck as well. And then I'm just going to take the same brush. Again, I'm just trying to minimize the amount of tools that we're using. And I'm going to pinch it and literally apply that same bronzer right into the crease. If it gets on the eyelid a little bit, that's okay. I just want a little bit of color and definition there. But it does not have to be perfect by any means. Just a little something, but it takes like no extra time to do that. For highlighter, so many of you guys wanted a glowy kind of look that wasn't too unnatural, and I know I've talked about this so many times as well, but like it's the best for that situation. The Honest Beauty highlighter, you guys, if you haven't tried it yet, it is going to be your favorite everyday highlighter, I think, because it's mine. It is just so beautiful. It has a nice baked formula. I'm just going to take this on my highlighting brush, and my skin already looks really nice and glowy, even though it's locked in with powder. This is just going to add to that. And I'm just going to go ahead and kind of buff this onto the skin. I like to do this before blush because I kind of like to buff it down on the cheeks a little bit, just like this. I like it down the center of the nose a little. Cupid bow. But seriously, just look at how fresh and healthy that makes the skin look. I'm also going to apply some right underneath the brow bone. And I'm also going to take a smaller brush. You could use your finger if you want to use less tools. And I'm just going to add that right into the inner corner of the eye while I have it already open and while we're using it. So I'm just going to pop it in the inner corner. I personally feel like an inner corner highlight really helps to just wake up the eyes. So I love to do that. For blush, I'm going to be using a more matte blush. I've been loving the ones from ColourPop and Kathleen Lights. Just use any kind of neutral pink matte blush that you have or your favorite blush. This one is MAC Melba. It's such a classic and it's been forever since I've used it. I'm just going to smile and apply this to the apples of the cheeks, and it's just going to add that little bit of color without overpowering my face. And since everything is so glowy on the skin, I really wanted to stick to more of a matte blush just to kind of help blend and buff everything into the skin and to not overdo anything or emphasize any texture, which is also something to keep in mind while you're picking out your products for your makeup. If you do have acne-prone skin like me, or you suffer with texture in any way, you might want to stick to more mattifying products just to avoid accentuating that. I'm taking the same exact brush and I'm running that right over where we applied the bronzer, just through the crease to kind of add some color to the eyes. Let's go ahead and fill in the brows. This is another one of those things that's going to be very individual depending on what you need. If you already have very full brows, you might just need to brush them up and put in a brow gel of some sort and call it a day. But for me, I do need to actually shape out and draw in half my brows. So I'm going to be using the M Cosmetics Fine Liner Brow Pencil, and I'm just going to quickly fill in my brows with this. And towards the front, I like to kind of move the pencil like this to create what looks like brow hairs right there. Based on the answers that you guys gave me on Instagram, it seemed like most of you really cared about brows, mascara, and like healthy looking skin. So that really is kind of the inspiration for this look. Okay, I'm just going to leave the brows at that for now. Let's go ahead and pile on the mascara. So many of you guys really liked very natural everything except bold on the lashes, which I personally love as well. I'm going to take the CoverGirl Exhibitionist mascara and I'm going to load this up on my lashes. And I personally like to apply mascara to the lower lashes. If you don't worry about it. Just do your mascara how you like it. Okay, so after mascara is on, especially if there's not too much on the eyes, you want to make sure to clean up any mascara marks. So I just take a dry Q-tip and kind of brush all around the eyes, and it will just take it right off. So I'm kind of going to blot the lip balm off the lips, and I'm going to go into the ColourPop Ultra Blotted Lip in the shade Zuma. I got hooked on this because of you guys. I'm just going to apply this on the lips, and then I take my finger and I kind of buff it in. It's such a good everyday color, and the formula is really nice. It's like a sheer matte liquid lipstick almost, but it's not as drying, especially when you prep your lips with lip balm beforehand. But it just adds the perfect amount of color. I'm going to add a little more to the top lip. You could totally leave it like this if you wanted, or if you wanted really fresh, juicy looking lips, you can add some gloss on top. I'm going to be using the Glossier lip gloss. This is just the clear one. It is my favorite. It is so good. And I'm just going to apply this right on top. You could also use a tinted lip balm. I love the tinted lip balms from Honest Beauty, but I just feel like that adds such a fun, like fresh element to the whole makeup look. All right, so now we do a quick assess the situation, especially if we're running low on time. I'm just going to add a little more bronzer just with what's left on the brush. I'm not going to add any more product to it. I just want to add a tiny bit more warmth to the forehead and make sure the highlighter's where we want it. Again, I'm not dipping back into the product at all. I'm just taking whatever's left on the brush. And same with the blush. I'm just going to tap on a little bit more just with whatever's left, which will save you a bit of time. All right, and now let's go ahead and set the face. I've been really into the Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray. This one is like slightly more hydrating than the All Nighter. The All Nighter is like my ride or die, I guess. It's really, really great and really awesome for making your makeup last all day. All of the Urban Decay setting sprays that I've tried really help to make my makeup last. It's a step in a makeup routine that I feel like so many people overlook, but it really does change everything about the skin. If you went ham with the powders, it will tone it down. It just helps everything look more fresh and more skin-like, and it helps it last all day. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spritz this, and if you're wondering, I did charge my fan over the weekend. Hallelujah. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spray this. And then I'm going to use my fan. This is where I do need a sponge, and I didn't wet one because I was trying to use as little products as possible. Maybe I'll just lightly tap with my brush. I don't know. I'm not sure if I can fully recommend this technique yet, but I'm just working with what I've got today. And along with setting spray being an absolute staple, I believe that this is an absolute staple for anyone's makeup kit. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte Transparent Powder in the shade 001 Transparent. There's other shades. Make sure you get the 001 Transparent. And this, my friends, in combination with the setting spray, it's gonna help control shine. This powder is like $4. I really think that everyone needs this in their collection, especially if you have more combination skin or oily skin. It's gonna help so much throughout the day. So I just like to buff it into the T-zone, just wherever I don't want shine. Just like that. And then I'm gonna use a clear gel to set the brows. I wanted to try this one from Hourglass. It's the Arch Brow Shaping Gel, and it's just the clear one. I also love the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. The Glossier one is great. If you want something from the drugstore, just get a clear mascara. It does the same thing. I'm just gonna run this through the brows to make sure that they don't move all day. All right, you guys, so that completes this everyday makeup look that's gonna be perfect for back to school or back to work or whatever you're doing. I love how it still looks polished. It makes you look really fresh, but it's not hard to do, and it also doesn't require too many different steps. And this is like kind of a full-on routine. Like I said, if you can skip the foundation and just go into concealer, do it. If you don't need to fill in your brows, don't. Like, just kind of figure out what works for you, and ultimately whatever you're comfortable wearing on an everyday basis. Just figure out what works for you. But I personally love how this turned out. This is definitely my kind of everyday makeup look, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie, and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button. And if you're already subscribed but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. PST, because I now have an official upload time, which is really fun. So you guys can count on me on those days at 10 a.m. PST. So yeah, if you want to be notified, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. Leave me a comment down below letting me know what other videos you would like to see. Do you want to see more back to school kind of videos? Do you want to see a specific makeup look? Do you want to see me review a certain product? I always want to hear from you guys, so be sure to leave a comment down below before you go. And that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I love you all so much, and I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are. And I'll see you all in my next video. Love you. Bye.